Okay, so as you might have already guessed, I'm on Team HOLO. I've jump ship, and I'm gonna explain to you why before I start with all this information. So if we take a look at any stock, whether it's Rich Tech Robotics or uh, MicroStrategy, you're gonna pull in something like, okay, so let's take Rich Tech Robotics. Okay, they're trading at $1.40, but if you bought at 50 cents like I did, and you're expecting it to go to $5-10, that's an increase of 20-fold. But if it goes up to 5, that's an increase of 10-fold. There's no guarantee it'll go to $10. It's more likely to go to 2. It will go to 5 eventually. It's going to take a long time though, so I will buy back into that eventually. But 2 divided by 0.5, that's, you're making 4 times your money, so 400%. That isn't terrible. But HOLO is better. You're going to find out that it's closed 3 times, went up to 100. So if you're buying this at, say, $1, and it's already at 50 to 70 cents, so you're picking this up at, let's say, 60 cents. So $100 divided by 0.6, you're making 166 times your money instead of 10 times or even 5 times. You're making 1,600%. But let's be more conservative with that number and say it only goes up to 40, because that was my forecast. So you buy that at 60, you're making 660%. Or is that 6,000? In any case, you're making 66 times your money instead of just 10. So if you put in $1,000, or let's just say you got 1,000 shares, and this goes up to 40, and your initial investment is less than, let's see, 1,000 times 0.6, that's $600. So you're putting in $600 US dollars, and once it goes up to 40, you're going to have $40,000. Okay, 40,000 from 600. So tell me another stock that has similar action to that. The closest thing in existence to such a investment is Bitcoin. Bitcoin in the early 2000s. So for a stock to be a better investment than Bitcoin, that catches my attention. And so that's why I'm all on board. And the proof is in the pudding. I saw the charts. I examined it very carefully, this company. And my conclusion is, 1 is, maybe a mistake. 2 is there's a chance. 3, that's without a doubt it's going to happen again. That's not a guarantee, but it's the closest thing to a guarantee. That's a pattern that's well established. And it's severely shorted too. So here's a post from StockTwits on HOLO. They were worried here too. I'm not. So they were worried here. Look at this date, 59 cents. We're also at about the same price. But this was 59 cents or thereabouts. It was January 29th. They were worried there, but look what happened. So that's the first image. We've got a few more to share. Here it says, don't forget this thing skyrockets semi-annually for no apparent reason, and also goes down for no apparent reason too. There's no positive news or negative news, but all it takes is a news catalyst and it should go up. There will be regular market fluctuations and dips that shake out the paper hands, but the gains will be of biblical proportions. Just hold the line and wait when it is up 500, 1,000% one of these days in early mid-September. That's a bold prediction. I'm going to say it happens before November. It's a larger window to work with. Okay, next image. Now I understand why HOLO jumps 1,600%. Then Gamma jumps to 3,900%. The short traders keep pushing until the snap happens. So that's what they're doing right now. That's what they did today. They naked short or use synthetic shares. Then they get knocked out by their trading house with automatic resolution. The more they apply short pressure, the higher it will go in the end. They're digging their own graves. They claim no one is going to buy this. They will be big buyers when they are forced to cover. That's what happened in the 3 previous pump and dump / short squeezes. Now they are shorting synthetic shares. Shares that don't exist. They are the captive audience. They are the buyers that cause huge spikes. It's just a waiting game at this point. The short traders themselves create conditions for extreme spikes. So they're the ones creating that environment. They're doing it to themselves. And if you saw the price action today, it could not go below 55 cents, which means they've reached a floor of support that they just can't break. So it's showing there's going to be a breakout next week. That's what's going to happen. They tried shorting it as hard as they could, but they couldn't break 55 cents. They were trying to short it way down to 30 again. They're trying to short it to 0, quite frankly, but it didn't work. So here's some fundamental analysis on HOLO. Based on the information provided about BYD sales, BYD is a car company. They make electric vehicles. They're a Chinese company. And the partnership between Micro Cloud Hologram and BYD, we can attempt to estimate the potential revenue for HOLO from this deal. However, it's important to note this is a rough estimate due to limited specific financial details about the agreement. So key points to consider. BYD's total car sales reached 2.3 million units in 2023, or by October. Their full year sales exceeded 3 million units. So focus on that number, 3 million units, 3 million cars. The agreement between HOLO and BYD is for a generalized streaming media control system. The CMS is described as common, suggesting it may be implemented across multiple BYD models. So here's some estimates. Number 1, assuming the CMS is implemented in a significant portion of BYD's vehicles, let's guesstimate, it could be used in 50 to 70%. I'm going to guess 50. If we take 60 as a middle ground, that would be approximately 1.8 million vehicles based on 3 million annual sales. The cost of 1.5 million. The cost of such systems can vary widely, but for a rough estimate, let's assume 100 to 200 per unit for their technology. Using these assumptions, the potential annual revenue for HOLO could range from, at the low ballpark, is 180 million, or the high estimate 360 million. So both of these numbers are way over their annual revenue. Even if we consider half of this, so 90 million, that's still more than 10 times their annual revenue. Therefore, a rough estimate of the potential annual revenue from this deal could be in the range of 180 to 360. I'm going to be conservative, say 100, 90 to 100. And that's still great. It's gangbusters for HOLO specifically. However, this is a speculative estimate. The actual figures could vary significantly based on the specific terms of the agreement, the exact implementation rate, the pricing structure, and other factors not disclosed. It's crucial to note this is a hypothetical estimate. It should not be taken as definitive financial projection. There are many factors not publicly available. So again, it's better to go on the very conservative side of things. So let's just say a fourth of that, a fourth of 180, or let's say 50 million instead. So 50 million annual revenue, that's still 5 times what they make. So regardless, it's going to be a great quarterly report. It's going to be a great annual report. So this is a nice post I saw. Lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. That's from StockTwits. So this applies both to shorts and longs. If you're a short and you repeat the same mistake, you keep digging your grave, you're going to have to face the consequences of your decisions. When you short a stock for no reason, you're going to have to pay up. And the same thing for retail investors. If you make the same mistake and you buy too high or you sell too low, you're not going to maximize your profits. I'm not saying get greedy. I'm saying be smart. Understand true resistance and true support based on Quick Fingers Luke's method. His methodology, his philosophy. Okay, the next image is 4 more. Okay, yeah, we read that one already. 3 more. So microcloud hologram outlook. This is the news. This is the propaganda they're spreading in order to get retail investors to either not buy or to sell at a low price or sell for a loss, God forbid. This is from June the 1st. That's the most recent press release related to HOLO. So we can see they're not encouraging people to buy. They're using their propaganda to deter people so that the short squeeze, the pump and dump will be less and less, but it's not working because the volume was amazing today. It was over 100 million. And that's without price action. Can you imagine if the price action was actually breaking out? It's going to easily break 200 million with price action. Okay, so here's a earnings for BYD. We anticipate BYD's margins will continue to improve, supported by higher operating leverage. So this is the company they have the deal with. HOLO has this deal with BYD. The company shares have gained more than 6% in Hong Kong, compared with losses in their peers such as Tesla and NIO. BYD's strong revenue growth has helped make its stock more resilient to concerns over diminished demand and the industry's ruthless price cuts. Okay, continuing on. Bottoms up. 500 million revenue coming in hot from BYD. Okay, 300 to 500. Based on the information provided about their sales. Okay, so again, they said 200 to 300. So their sales revenue is 300 to 500 from BYD. Okay, so that's speculation. I'm going to be more conservative and say it's 500 or 550. Okay, last post for HOLO, and then we're going to get into the general stock market in another video. Don't forget this thing skyrockets. Oh, I read this already. Why did I read that twice? Okay, so that's all for this video. Let's look at HOLO in closing. Okay, so here's the stock chart, the information anyway, the summary for HOLO Microcloud Hologram Incorporated. They were down 17.93% today. So you can see they tried shorting it to a crazy level. It didn't work. Because if you look at the last 5 days, they created a new base on Thursday. Yesterday, a new base was formed. In the last month, you can see that they shorted it. Actually, last 6 months, you can see they shorted it from all the way here. Actually, this is a pump and dump, so we have to take that into account as well. So here's the pump and dump. 170 was the price before the pump and dump. Okay, 170. So they shorted it from 170. And eventually it went back down to $5 for the longest time. And it stayed above $2 and even above $1 until June. Okay, so for the last 6 months out of 8 months, only in the last 2 months it dropped below $1. Let me repeat that. For 6 months out of 8, it's been above $1. Okay, so we know the stock is worth at least $1. But it's the pump and dumps, the short squeezes that I'm interested in. So we can look at the price action here. So we were shorted all the way down to 30 cents. To be exact, 28 cents. So it was shorted down to 28. Okay, 28 cents. And then in the last 4 days, it's risen. How much percent did it rise? It's not really telling you here on this chart. I'm gonna have to open the app and give you the exact percentage that it rose by. So in the last 5 days, it went up to 140%. Okay, it went up to 140% in the last 5 days. Okay, that is not the short squeeze. That's only the short squeeze is going to be in the double digits. It's going to be at least $10, 20, 30, probably 40. Again, my prediction is 40, just to be conservative. But because it's been hitting 99 every time, you can be a little bit greedy. I would start selling on the way up and even on the way down, but you have to see, okay, where is the peak? Is it going to be 99 again, or will it be 88? Will it be even 77? Time will tell, but it's going to squeeze. So look at this chart here once again. Went up to, on Tuesday, actually a Monday. Let's look at Monday. Monday, pretty dead. Nothing happened until 2 p.m. Went from 32 cents all the way up to 40. And then the last hour, actually looks like nothing happened. It was the following day. It went from 41 cents to 57 right at the beginning of Tuesday. So that was all this week, okay? Tuesday, 57, and then finished the day, was shorted to 42. Okay, they shorted it all the way down to 42. So that was the support. Support changed from 30 to 42. Wednesday, what happened Wednesday? It opened 45 and then started surging right at the end of the trading day, trading session, to 52 cents. Okay, so from 45 to 52, not a big swing. And then it gets interesting on Thursday. Thursday it opens at 58. Okay, that's all right. But then we see a huge spike here at 70 cents at the end of the day. It opens at 70 cents and we see a lot of buying volume. Actually, there was pretty consistently, it was 100 million volume almost every day this week, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Friday and Thursday were 100 million. I don't remember the other days, but I'm banking that it was probably 100 million, if not more, every day this week. So they tried shorting it from 70, and they wanted, you can bet they were trying to short it all the way down to 40, probably even 30, but it didn't work because the support was too strong. So what is that showing you? It's showing you, look at the 1 month chart. Look where it's trending. So if we draw a line like this from the bottom, you can see this is trending upward. This isn't trending downward. This is going to squeeze. This is the beginnings of a squeeze, of a short squeeze. Now, how soon will it take place? Again, the chart champ predicted it's going to happen in August or at the latest September. He very well might be right. But even if it doesn't happen in September, I'm not going to lose heart. I know will squeeze eventually. My personal prediction is that it's going to happen before the election, the American presidential election in November. That's my personal prediction. Because, not because, but I'm also planning to just get out of the market at that point and just liquidate everything and not invest until we know who wins the election and we can see, what is the state of the economy as a result. So let's look at these squeezes just to get our confirmation whether this is a good play or not. Look at this squeeze. So it was offered at the price of $5 because they did do a reverse stock split. No, it was offered at $10. I'm sorry. So this is actually $10. We have to take into account the reverse stock split. This was $10, the initial, the IPO. So it was $10. And then it went down to $2 or $170. And then it goes to $10. So whether the price is $2 or $1, it went up all the way to $10, tenfold. And then it was shorted down again, went down to $2, $1.50, and right before its close again, $3.40, and then it went up all the way to $9. So it's technically, it wasn't $91, it wasn't $100. Technically, it was $99. Went to $9 from $3 to $9. So that is a jump of what is that? Anyway, it's remarkable. And then we see that it went from again, that's not 183. We have to take into account the numbers. So this is actually closer to 18 cents. That's 18 cents. And then it goes to $6. Okay, so let's look at $6. $6 divided by 18 cents. 33 times your money. Okay, so 33 times. 33-fold is what it jumped to. So I'm not going to just plug in that number, but be a little more conservative. Let's say it goes up tenfold. That's going to go to $5. I think it's pretty reasonable. It'll go to $5, maybe even 10. So yeah, I think we have to sort of keep our expectations in check. You know, it could go to 100, could go to 50, it could go to 40. But now that I'm really analyzing this a little closer, once you consider, you plug in the fact that it had a reverse stock split, you have to take into account that, you know, the previous squeezes that occurred gave them a multiplier of only so much money. So again, I looked at it in another video, 3.5, and then a 3 times multiplier, and then the third squeeze a 16 times multiplier. So could we expect a 10 times multiplier? Will this go to $5, or will it just go to 150? Well, in any case, it's going to go higher. It's not going to stay. The fact is, I don't believe it's going to stay at 50 cents. You're a fool to believe it's going to stay at this level. I would be foolish to think that Tesla would only go up and will never go down, but it did go down. That's the way the stock market works. That's the way stocks work. It has to go up and stocks have to go down. But it's not mandatory for them to just, like waves, go up and down. You have to look at the fundamentals. You have to analyze the charts. You have to look and study what is support, what is resistance. You have to look at the patterns. You have to look at the volume. You have to look at a lot of factors, but there are enough flags for me to say that this is a viable company. This is a good play. This is the best play that exists right now in the stock market. And in my honest opinion, my humble opinion, it's the best kept secret in the stock market right now. But I'm not keeping it a secret on my channel. So that's all for this video. Thanks for your time. And until next time, I think we'll look at the stock market in general. Actually, there's not much to report. Let me look at the stock market in general right now, right at the end of the video. Okay, so I'm just going to report on stocks that went up at least double digits on my list. So SDIG, the crypto mining company, is up 10%, 52 cents. And you have MicroStrategy up 12%. Bitcoin's looking healthy right now, but I think it's due for a crash. That's me. It's always due for a crash. Can happen at any moment. Rich Tech Robotics is up 10%. And we're going to keep covering them. Unfortunately, there was no news to report today on Rich Tech. I'm just going to look for the press releases, look for something massive to report. I'm not going to report on stock twits too much because it's all just, rumor, speculation until something comes out. And that we're looking at September 20th for a reveal of some sort. So that's Rich Tech. They're up, what are they up at? So 138. So they couldn't break 140. It looks like resistance is 150, but I do believe it'll break out to $2. Probably will stay at $2 for quite a while. it'll eventually break that once the earnings reports come out. A lot of good news will come out for it, and then it'll get to $5 to $10. So I see that as a ceiling right now. And 5-10 years down the line, probably $20, $30, $40, but we'll see. Okay, I think that's about it. Lucid's up almost 10%. Lucid's a good stock to trade, back and forth. Not that it's the best company, but it's a good trading stock. SLDP, it almost got 10%, but it's up 9%. So let's give them a little mercy. If they can't quite crack 10, but if they're at 9, I'll count that. I think that's it. Yeah. No other big movers or shakers. Here's the news. Okay, QuantumScape, where people are selling off. Yeah, I sold everything today just to buy HOLO. So I'm all in. I'm a YOLO on HOLO. All right, that's all for this video and this week. It's been a fun week. Looking forward to the future very much. So I would expect the worst in terms of HOLO, in terms of the multiplier. I'm going to say it'll probably go up maybe three times, but again, studying the previous squeezes, it makes more sense to hit for it to get to again at least 10. You want to look at the patterns, and that looks like the most likely scenario, especially with all the volume that's coming in. Over $1 billion in trading volume, more than even the third squeeze. So does that mean it's going to be a bigger squeeze? Probably. So let's look here one more time. 100, 112, 93, 66. So I think it's going down by 30s. Call me crazy, but I think this might go to 30. Yeah, 33 might be the right price, but the best thing is not even to predict, to be honest. Don't even predict. Just wait for it to go up. Once you see it skyrocket, just watch and take it in. Watch it closely. You're going to want to watch it hourly. So it's going to be a little bit of a FOMO play in a way. Not FOMO as in you're missing out of buying, you're missing out on selling. So you want to make sure you don't miss out on your exit point, because once it passes, you're going to be selling at a lower price than you would have wanted. So let's say hypothetically it goes to 30, right? So it's going to break out to 1. It's going to break out to $1. So let's say it breaks out to $1 and then goes up to 5 and then 10. And then you're going to sell off, right? And then you're going to see, a bigger jump to maybe 30. And then that's the big sell-off, and it's going to drop really fast. So it's going to probably drop within a day. So you can see February 16th. Okay, I don't know if that's going to show up on the chart for the 6 month. But it dropped really quick. So February 27th. Actually, it did take about a week. But in all honesty, if you want to maximize your profits, you're going to have to watch this like a hawk. You can't just let this go unnoticed and not monitor it, because a lot is at stake. A lot of money is at stake if you're invested in this. So again, look at this last look here. February 7th, February 6th, February 7th. Okay, February 8th, that's 2 days. February 9th, it's still up. And this all started in the 6th. Okay, so the 6th. So let's look 1 week in. 1 week in, it's still up. 1 week in, it's still up. And then 1 week later, the 20th, it's gone. So in 2 weeks, it can happen in a matter of 2 weeks. I would say a week or two. But that's still a good amount of time. At least it's not happening overnight, such as GameStop and AMC. They go up, and then it's gone the following day, or the following 2 days. Especially in the case of Beyond Meat, for instance. It's up 1 hour, and then it's gone the next, 5 minutes. So, yeah, there's going to be time to sell it off. February 16th, it reached the peak, the fever pitch, and then I guess the weekend happened, 17, 18. Doesn't show us 19 for some reason. Yeah, I can't. I'll have to go to the actual chart and see if I can pinpoint February 19th. Just to make sense of that. To get a better feel of how the squeezes behave. Okay. Alright, you know what? Let's look at each squeeze. Let's look at each squeeze just to be fair. Just to do our due diligence. Okay, so it started off. You know, I'm going to have to maximize this window. I can't see anything in the little tiny space I've given myself. So again, here it is. This date is not telling me the date for some reason. Why is it not showing the date? Let's just go full screen. So you're going to see all these images all around, but in any case, I'm just going to read it out to you. Okay, there is no date. Oh, here's the date. Okay, so January the 3rd. Okay, January the 4th. What happened January the 4th? So on so it jumped up from the 3rd. So it took a week, the first squeeze. And then a week later, I should say 10 days later, it peaked on the 20th, so 10 days later. I should see 23rd. So it took a week or 2 weeks. Right? It started on the 6th, and then it's 17 days later. So it's about just over 2 weeks. And then the important thing to notice is, okay, what happens or what happened from the 23rd and the 24th? How long did this stay up is my question. I want to make this a little more, not 1 day, maybe 4 hours. And I want to look at the last year. Actually, the last 2 years. Okay, so I don't know if it's not showing up anymore. Okay. It's going to have to be a day then. Okay, in any case, yeah, I think you can see that a little bit better. So, again, this is the first squeeze. And then the 23rd to the 24th. So 3 days, it gets to, it gets shorted a little bit, but it's still up. So from the 23rd to about the February the 3rd. So it's pretty much over in the 3rd, and then it just crashes within 5 days. So from the 23rd to the 3rd, that's about a week and just less than 2 weeks. Okay, so less than 2 weeks for that peak to start drifting down. So about 2 weeks. And then for the second squeeze, study that as well. So we got the 18th. And then it took it 5 days. It really took 5 days. It accumulated over 5 days. But then it stopped, and then it went up some more over the next 4 days to even higher heights, and then it dropped down. So we have to mark this date, August 29th. And so it's still staying up there. People thought it was probably going to go higher, and actually did. I think 106. Yeah, it stayed about the same. Just a little bit higher. So September 12th. So between the 29th to the 12th, that's 2 weeks. Again, it's showing a distinct pattern. And then it dropped from the 12th overnight to 21. in one day from 100 to 20. So you only have at the most 13 days, but let's just say a week, right? 10 days to 10 to 14 days. And then we have this, the third squeeze. Let's see how long this took. February 6th, went up 2 days later. 4 days later, went down a little bit. And then, so February 6th, it went up to the peak 10 days later. And then went all the way down. Pretty much the following day. Maybe it was a holiday. I'm not sure why. It just skips. And then goes all the way down where it was before. Within a matter of, let's see, the 6th, all the way, actually we have to mark it here. So the 8th to, I want to say the 21st. So how many days is that? That's 13 days. That is a clear pattern. 13 days, 13 days, 13 days. So you have 13 days from the point, from the time that it hits a massive peak. Well, not massive, but the first peak. When it hits the initial peak, you've got 13 days. But just to be safe, don't wait longer than 10. Do not wait longer than 10 days. So that's the countdown. It goes up 10 days. You got 10 days to sell before you're left holding the bag and everyone's got their profits. So I would say 7 to 10 days is that is the prime selling point. 7 to 10 days. Once you see the price action and you see microcloud go right back up again, and let's say it goes up to, right now it's at 56, between 50 to 70 cents. So let's say it goes up the initial bump. Okay, it's not really showing the chart right now. I have to scroll a little bit. So let's say it goes up. Let's pretend this is over here, okay? So it goes up, and say it's September now. So this is September, for lack of better number, September the whatever number that is. So September 5th, okay? September 8th. I should say, here, what is this date? So this will be August the 31st, and then September the 5th, it goes up to this number. And let's say it's half. Let's say it goes up to $14. All right, it goes up to 14 on September the 8th. So, like I said, you have a week to 10 days. So what's a week from September the 8th? That would be September 15th. So where's in the 15th? Where's in the 15th? There it is. It's at the peak. And then where is it? 10 days after. The 18th. Where's in the 18th? Actually, there is no 18th. So you have to sell it within a week from the peak. So that's a good mnemonic, right? A week from the peak, sell it from the first peak. Not the actual peak, but the first peak. So let's look at, does that apply to the other two squeezes? Sell a week from the peak, okay? Let's see. So here's the first peak. 1 week from the first peak, okay, is the 17th. Yeah, this applies. Actually, this took a little longer than a week, but you can expect they're going to be more cunning this time, a little more crafty. So a week from this first peak would be the 30th. Where's the 30th? Right there. You're higher. It's higher. The point is it's higher. So where is it at the first peak? It's higher. Here's the first peak, okay? 79 at 79 here. Okay, I have to scroll just to $79, and then a week later, again the first peak. Okay, let's call this the first peak over here. So 17 would be over here. Is the 17th higher than this number? Well, it's higher in the chart, so automatically it's higher. Here's the 17th right there. Yeah, it's higher. Okay, first peak Yeah, we looked at that one already. Let's look at this one more time. Here's the first peak right here because it's a sharp downward turn. So 1 week from then would be the 15th. So where's in the 15th? It's right there. So it is higher. So it's almost a guarantee. I don't like saying this guarantee word, but it's almost a guarantee a week from the peak. So wait for the price action. That's what we're waiting for. We're not reading fear and doom. We call it fear, uncertainty, and doubt. We're not reading those posts. We're not reading all the comments on stock twits, all the negative ones, especially on Yahoo Finance comments. We're ignoring that. All I did was I put my price alert for $10. And yeah, I'm going to track it every day, especially at the end of the trading session. Not so much track it every hour, but track it at the beginning and then track it at the end of the day and see, did I reach my price target of $10? And once it does, that's how I know, okay, we're getting to the first peak. And then when I see that it hits resistance, it goes down, then I'm going to wait. That's going to be a week from the moment you see that clear resistance. Once you see that peak, you know what? I would actually sell some shares right at the first peak, but then I would wait a week to sell the majority of the shares. So that's all for this video. So sell a week from the peak, the first peak. Sell a week from the first peak. Okay, that's the title of the video. All right, thanks for your time and have a great weekend. We'll catch you on, see you on Monday.